Hola, welcome to Cafecito and Crime. This is Barb.
And this is Estella.
And today we will be discussing another of our Thanksgiving-y.
And this episode is actually going to be the one que va a salir on Thanksgiving Day.
On Thanksgiving
because
Day.
Because we're not taking Thanksgiving Day off. We're still posting.
We're still going to post.
Yeah.
So because of that, this is our Thanksgiving episode, and it is Thanksgiving-y themed. So grab
the whole month of November.
The whole month of November.
Right.
So grab your cafecitos.
And let's get started.
So today we will be discussing the murderers.
Oh, no dos.
Well, we'll see.
Oh, okay.
So today we're going to be discussing the murderer. I say that we should say the killer, right? This is the Thanksgiving killer. He was actually named that. His name.
Stop.
Yeah. Thanksgiving killer.
I think I was going to do that one.
Really? But did you do it?
I was working on it. Are you talking about Paul?
Yes!
Yes, anyway.
Cool. So then we're good. I did it.
Yeah.
So you don't have to.
Yeah, I won't finish it then.
Good. So then that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome that we're both in the same.
That we thought about it.
That's awesome. Yeah. So you know kind of a little bit of the backstory and what's going on. But I'm going to tell our listeners now about what's going on. So this person, I mean, you could say person or a cucaracha, whatever you want to call him. His name, Big Cucaracha, is the one that has the wings for sure.
Yeah.
Big Cucaracha. His name is Paul Michael Marich, and he is known as the Thanksgiving Killer.
See?
This brings us back to 2009. This is the time where the actual kills happened. Kills or murders? Murders, ¿verdad? So let me give you a fun fact about Jupiter, Florida, because this is where it happened.
Yeah.
So fun fact. Wow.
Fun fact.
Es que no he tomado café, oigan. Fun fact of Jupiter was that there's a beach in Jupiter que se llama Juno Beach, and it's one of the favorite nesting grounds for the rare loggerhead sea turtle. The white sands provide a home to more than 10,000 sea turtles nest each year.
Wow, 10,000?
10,000. That's a lot of fucking nest. That's like a lot of fucking sea turtles.
That's a lot of turtles.
That's a lot of turtles. And then also I'm going to give you an extra one because I know that you would like this one.
Okay, tell me.
Okay, bonus. The average daily temperature in Jupiter in January is 65 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh.
In the summer, in July, it's only 82 degrees.
We can't relate here in Houston.
Can't relate. In the summer, we're burning balls.
Yes.
No fucking joke.
And in January, it might still be hot.
I don't know, but I think this is the coldest it's been.
In a couple of years.
I remember que a few years ago, yo no sé si ustedes se acuerdan, that in Texas, I know that, I don't know how many people listen to us in Texas, but it was not this fucking cold, bro.
Last year, we're getting a little bit off topic here, pero last year, for New Year's, it wasn't that cold. Because I remember I just had like a little light jacket moment.
I had
the year before that, I remember in 2021 for that New Year's Day Eve, it was fucking freezing because we were in Liberty.
I remember that.
Todos también chamarrados.
Enchamarrados.
Yeah,
yes.
And it was cold.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's cold. And I went to Dallas and I actually, for the first time, saw or heard that it was actually ice rain. Like ice
you heard, you were saying that you heard it, right?
I heard it because my nephew went to go get something from the store and he's like, I think that it's está cayendo hielo. I'm like, that's pendejo, hell no. And he's like, no, for real. So when I went outside, I opened the door because I wasn't going to go outside. I'm from Houston, bitch. Like, it's fucking cold over there. So I'm like, no, this is too cold for me. Ya me quería regresar because I'm
bitch, like if you didn't live over there for like the first 18 years of your life.
Yes, pero ya me acostumbré. My niece back then were 18. My niece now are 36, are a lot older. Okay, so let's get started. So in 2009, there was a family of about 16 that were celebrating Thanksgiving con toda la familia así chingón, right? So they're all at the particular person's home that was hosting. Yeah. So they were all at this home. And that day, it actually fell November the 26th. So November the 26th, the police were called to the upscale home in Jupiter, Florida, about 50 miles away from Miami. And this was at the home of Jim and Muriel Sitton. Okay. So Jim and Muriel were the owners of the home, as I said already. And when they walked in, the police walked into a massacre. Okay. I didn't mean to say it like so.
It is a massacre.
But it was a massacre.
Sadly.
So within the gathering. Espérenme, porque es que ya empezó, es que acaba de llegar el café, guys. Porque es que no había café. Estamos en la noche ahora. I wanted y'all to know also that we did get a new desk.
Yes.
So we have a whole setup now. Like we're looking pretty fancy. We're negative on the account porque we only have 5 people listening, pero no hay pedo.
Wait, tómale. So we can get it together.
Listo. Within the gathering, there was the parents of Muriel. So Muriel had her parents there. 76-year-old. So her name was either Raymonde.
Yeah.
Raymond or
It had an E at the end, right?
It had an E at the end.
Yes.
And Dr. Antoine Joseph. They were at the gathering along with Muriel's aunts, Carol and Michael Marriage. So it's spelled Merhige, but it's pronounced marriage.
Marriage. Okay, yo de pendeja, you know what I was saying? Merhige.
No, it's marriage.
I know, pero es que ando de pendeja.
At the dinner, there was also twin daughters of the marriages. It was 33-year-old Carla Marriage and 33-year-old Lisa Knight, which was expecting her first child with her husband, Patrick Knight. And I spelled Knight con N, bien pendeja.
It is.
No.
Con N? K. It's Knight.
It's Knight, pero...
guys, we know it's night, but like Knight, we say it like that. It's okay.
They were all having Thanksgiving dinner. So the marriages, the couple, also had a 35-year-old son by the name of Paul. So from what I read, they had the 2 daughters, which were the twins. They had Paul and they had an older son.
Right.
So
the twin daughters were las más chiquitas.
Las más chiquitas, yeah. So, but he wasn't invited to the dinner.
Oh, no lo invitaron. I know this, guys. I'm sorry, I know this.
Yeah, so we accidentally researched the same, which it was...
It's the great minds think alike,
yeah, it was
bitch.
tend to happen, bitch. It was tend to happen. Porque...
And I was telling Barbie, when ahorita I was like, bro, and I stopped working on another case to start working on this one. Like nada que ver X el otro case. No nada que ver el otro X case, right? But it's because there wasn't going to be enough information to make an episode. It would have been like 10 minutes.
To me.
Yeah, anyway, back to the story. Go for it, sister.
So even though he wasn't invited, he kept calling.
He was going to make his way there a cualquier...
It didn't matter. Él estaba hable porque quería saber a qué horas iban a ver, quería saber quién iba a estar allí, he wanted all this information.
He was on a mission.
He was on a mission, yeah. So... You know what? He wanted all this information. And
who was he calling?
His dad. He kept calling his dad. Only his dad. He only called his dad. Who was at the dinner. And then he trying to find out where he was. Y que no sé qué. So he didn't really talk to anybody at the Sitton's family home, or actually to no one there for some...
Even though they were family?
They were family.
Okay.
Pero no se hablaban. You know, that happens in hasta las mejores familias.
Yeah, that happens all the time.
So he really didn't talk to anybody. So when he called, while they were at the dinner gathering, todos empezaron a que, ¿y este qué pedo? Like, what is he talking about?
Like, porque quiere venir, or why is he coming?
Yeah, why is he coming? Apparently, he told his dad he wanted to come and eat dinner with his family, which was very odd once again. So I guess he invited himself, and they weren't sure why, but they were like, okay, whatever. Now, the Sittons actually had not seen Paul in 13 years.
A la verga.
So, no, ya tenían mucho sin verlo. Ellos no tenían una relación con Paul at all.
But with his parents, sí.
With his parents, sí, but we're going to go into that in a little bit. Yeah. So, he kept checking, and so then, pues, dijo, pues, que él iba a llegar. So, now, ya viene el compa. Se invitó, and he's like, I'm going. And the thing is, Mr. Michael, el papá, did not mention anything to the rest of the family that was there. Oye, que venía. Ajá. Oye, lo voy a invitar. Is that okay? Which I can see how that happens, because that might happen. Be like, it's my son. Va a venir como quiera. I don't care if you mind it or not.
Yeah, but it's fine.
It's fine. You know, they won't mind.
You're not going to think anything of it, right?
You're not. But Carol did have a bad feeling about this. And Carol le dice a su daughter, voltea y le dice, hey, Lisa.
After que el señor Michael les dijo que aquel iba a venir.
So by this time they're all aware que Paul va a llegar. Pero didn't ask, didn't tell, hey, is it okay that my son is coming over? He didn't give a fuck. Él dijo, pásale, no hay pedo, véngase.
Oh, so le dijo, just come over?
No, and he even gave him directions and everything.
Oh, a ver.
Yeah.
And then les dijo a aquellos, es que va a venir aquel.
Es que va a venir aquel. You know, entonces la Carol, which is Paul's mom, tells her daughter Lisa, when she heard that Paul had invited himself to the dinner, and she says, and I quote, I hope he doesn't come to kill us all tonight. End quote.
Look, if that's the first thing that's going to come out of your mouth when your son is coming over, maybe he shouldn't fucking come over.
Exactly. So then Lisa tells her mom, you know what? I thought the same thing too.
And if somebody else is thinking it too,
and your brother, and that's your brother, but don't tell my dad because he will get upset if we feel this way.
Bless you.
Excuse my husband, loud ass fucking sneeze. So le dice, no le digas a mi dad, you know,
that we're
just gonna keep it to ourselves, right?
That we're feeling some sort
of way.
Yeah.
So this fucker ya llegó el perro, ¿verdad? Y se sienta and he didn't even eat. He just sat there for 3 hours. He didn't move. He didn't eat. He sat in the same spot. So then everybody was like, what the fuck? Like all awkward, you know? Pero pues ya que pinches, pues ya se invitó. Y entonces everyone moves to the living room. ¿Y qué empiezan a hacer? Pues empiezan ya porque ¿qué viene después del turkey, güey? Pues ya viene el pinche...
Black Friday.
Fuck Black Friday. Viene el Christmas ya, pues.
Yeah, like I feel like after dinner, the Thanksgiving, everybody's all like, okay, cool. Christmas now. Yeah, it's Christmas.
Yeah, after the Cowboys win their game, we're good.
With Washington?
We're going to beat the Washington. And then after that, then, ¿qué crees? Pues ya es tiempo de cantar, pues el burrito sabanero, ¿verdad?
Yeah.
And so they're all in the living room singing Christmas carols, right? So Makayla, which is one of the 16 people at the party and the smallest one there, she is the Sitton's little 6-year-old baby girl. And she was actually showing them her routine because the next day she was going to be in the Nutcracker. Mm-hmm. She was going to be in the play. And
Dude, you know what? I've always wanted to go see that. And I always say I'm going to buy tickets when, you know.
Maybe you should go and take your niece because I can't stay still. I would be like that kind of person. Anyway, so then she was going to perform in the Nutcracker. So she was going to be a little dancing gingerbread man.
Aww.
So she was so excited for that. So Paul just sat there and just stared at everyone for the fucking 3 last hours that he was sitting there, just calladito y nomás viendo a ver qué chingados mira. And so then...
Una mosca.
So right after Makayla went to bed, he leaves the house. He pieces out for a little bit.
Around what time was this?
A little bit after 9.
Okay.
By reports of what I've heard of everybody that was there or that were survivors, it was around 20 minutes that he was gone.
Okay.
And he came back with an assault rifle and a shotgun, and he started shooting up the family. So let me tell you a little bit about Paul and his background and see if we can find out why the fuck did he decide to just off his whole family, unalive them, as they say. Okay, so Paul was born in Florida in 1974. He was a varsity athlete. He played football, basketball, and soccer. He was an honor student at a really fancy preparatory school, like a private school. He wanted to become a doctor. And so this is very interesting because I got a lot of information from another podcast. They're called what did you say they were called? The Queens?
Killer Queens.
The Killer Queens. Guys, if y'all want more information, they're amazing. Besides, they're fucking funny as hell. Mm-hmm. They remind me of us too. So we're gonna link them down on the little description of the
show notes.
The show notes, yeah. So y'all go take a look at them, listen to them. They're awesome. And so then she said something that was really interesting. One of the ladies there, she said he was liked but not popular.
Okay.
So how is that? How are you liked but you're not popular? Like, do people are like, oh, you're cool, but I don't want to chill with you?
No, I feel like popular, I feel like everybody just wants to be your friend as opposed to, hey, there goes Paul. He does all this sports, but there goes Paul. He's fine, right?
Yeah, he's fine. Yeah, he's fine. And I thought that was cool. I saw the pictures of him. They did show a few pictures on another of the sites that I looked at. And he was very handsome. He was very driven. And he was, once again, quiet. Yeah. As you know, he was a leader of the French Honor Society, and he was a kicker of the football team.
Their family last name, I don't know if you know this or not, or if it came out in the research, but are they French?
No, they weren't French. But based on what I read, it was that they were American. I think they were descents of Italian or something like that. Okay, but I don't really know much about it. But I'll talk to you about them in a little bit.
Not that it matters, but I was just curious.
No. Basically, he was chill. You know, he was fucking intelligent. He was on top of the world right now.
He was just
chilling,
going to school,
whatever.
Being smart,
being the person he was supposed to be.
At the time.
Ya cuando he was going to graduate, in his yearbook, he actually wrote a senior page. They had I guess in their yearbook had senior pages. So everything, he would post things on his senior page. Not post, I guess post now, but back then, he would write notes and stuff on his yearbook. And then it was in the yearbook for everyone to see. Kind of like a newspaper, I guess.
Yeah.
And so in his newspaper, he wrote, and I quote, he wrote a note to all of his family, which was a really weird note, but you tell me if I'm wrong. So he wrote it
for the school yearbook, but for his family.
Exactly. Huh. That's where I thought that was kind of weird. Yeah. So you tell me what you think, guys, but this is what he wrote. He said, I will love now and forever love. No, excuse me. I'm going to reread that. I will love you now and will forever. I have been so lucky to be blessed to have twin sisters and a protective older brother. To my parents, I thank you for all that you have given me.
Let's take a quick break.
Persons of Interest is back, and it's bigger than ever.
That scream will echo in my head for many years.
Taser! 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 He's gonna shoot!
Oi! Shot fired! Shots fired! Shots fired!
Stay out! You gotta go on you!
He had the perfect aim.
I am absolutely stressed at that point. I have no idea where my officers are.
Persons of Interest available everywhere you get your podcasts.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's... I mean, there's nothing wrong with the quote, but where the fuck are you putting it in a yearbook?
Exactly. Are you leaving somewhere? Are you leaving that for someone to read later?
Are you going away to college or some shit?
I mean... I don't know.
Because if you think about it, he's kind of like the middle child, right?
Yeah.
It's like the middle child syndrome or whatever. Que nadie te pone atención because you have the oldest and then you have the middle one. I mean, the younger ones. And then the younger ones were fucking twins, right? So,
I mean...
that was just weird.
It was just a weird thing.
Yeah.
I kind of, when I read it to my husband, he told me a little bit that the girls... What are they called again?
Killer Queens.
Killer Queens said something in their podcast when I was listening.
He was listening to?
He was like next to me, but then I read him the actual quote afterwards, and he said, yeah, it sounded like he was writing
going
like,
somewhere.
No, like he was gonna kill himself. Like it was like como se dice,
like a suicide note.
Like a suicide note. ¿A poco no parece como que okay, I'm leaving this world? You know,
it's just weird, but that's the thing. Like people usually leave a suicide note that they write themselves before they do the act.
Exactly.
But in a yearbook.
Exactly. So, okay, we're going to move on. But his parents did take good care of him. Like his dad, as I said, mentioned before, he was a doctor. So he was a very prestigious doctor. So they had money, girl. They paid his bills.
He went to a private school and stuff.
All of this thing. When he was 13, he got in an argument with his family. And this is what his mom said. They think that he overreacted and he pulled out a gun. And he pointed it to his family. And he told them that he was going to kill them all. Then at 19, he had a nervous breakdown. His mom said that he had depression and OCD, and he started to lose his hair at 17.
Oh, shit.
And he had gained a lot of weight. He also was suffering from insomnia. So why is that important? When you have insomnia, no duermes, your body, your mind is never stopped.
Yeah.
So then what happens is that, have you heard like those people that drink a lot of energy drinks, like to study and shit, y luego se mueren a la verga? Because your mind needs to
rest.
You need to rest. Yeah. And so then I think that was another one that was kind of giving people an insight.
That's the thing también, insomnia, cuando no duermes, like your body needs to sleep and like you said, your mind needs to shut down and you fucking start hallucinating and stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's something. So, this is another one of the reasons that that his mom was giving. Like, I guess they interviewed her or whatever. And she said that his OCD was one of the major factors that led him into his mental illness in his life. He was a huge germaphobe, Estela. Like, huge germaphobe. Like, he would shower multiple times a day, up to 5 times a day.
Do you remember that show on MTV, True Life?
Yeah.
Dude, I remember that episode about people that had OCD, and I was like, oh my God.
So not only that, but he would shower for up to 5 hours at a time.
And multiple times a day?
Multiple times a day.
Imagine the water bill. Oh, well, they had money.
They had money.
I know.
And so then...
I'm sorry, I know that doesn't matter. Pero...
No, and not only that, but he would shave multiple times a week. Like, he wouldn't let his hair grow out on his face. And then he would wear 2 pairs of underwear at a time. And he would refuse to wear shorts.
In Florida.
Oh. Do you imagine, like, because our body needs bacteria. Like, you need to be a little bit dirty. It's okay. But también no 8 días sin bañarte. Pero, like... You know, for 5 fucking hours, imaginas?
And 2 to 3 times a day?
2 to 3 times a day.
So you're like showering the whole fucking day?
All day. all day. So he couldn't do what a normal person at that age he would do.
And he was what, like 19, like early 20s?
Or earliest 20s. That's correct. So the year after he left high school, he started to have violent outbursts along with all of this that was going on. And then his mental instability. It made it nearly impossible for him to keep a job. Obviously, if you had to be showering for 5 fucking hours at a time, like, I mean,
you're going to be doing your work from the bathroom in the shower?
Like, what the hell? So it made him actually obsess over the way his family would do something to him. So let's say that, no, pues tú me hiciste algo, me tiraste la basura que yo te dije que no tiraras, or whatever. He would obsess over that. Like, he could not let it go for years. I'm talking about, like, the smallest thing. Like let's say
he had something in the... Oh, this is the only thing that I did. Like, if you have something in the fridge que dejaste to eat later, or something that's yours.
Yeah, and somebody came by and ate it, he would not let it go. Like, he would fucking
like
nag
his
and
OCD would, I'm sure, magnify
exactly.
it. Como si le mataste un puppy or something.
Yeah, exactly. So he would revisit things over and over from the same thing that would happen. So it made him harm as well. His dream was to become a doctor like his dad, and he was well on his way. Like, this guy
had the smarts for it.
Pero it also came down to that. Like, he couldn't go to fucking school.
That
he
disabilitates
couldn't pass a test. He couldn't do all of this. So in 1994, when Paul was 20, he became completely dependent on his parents. And just 2 years after that, when he was 22, obviously, he became illegally disabled. Like, he could not. Legally, yeah.
Like, the state had to,
yeah. Like, the state of Florida was like, okay,
you're disabled. You have disability. You can't work, or so on and so forth.
Yeah. So he couldn't do nothing. I guess they started giving him disability benefits or whatever. I don't know how that works for people that have money. I don't know how that works. But anyway, he did continue to go off and on of his medication because, of course, that's what people do. We honestly think that we don't need it, and then we do need it. And,
and you're okay, and then, take it, and then you're bad.
And then whatever. So I read somewhere, basically, that he did try shooting himself before, like commit suicide. Pero que, I mean, they doesn't say exactly where he tried to shoot himself. And there's not really many reports on what happened after that. They just said that he did try to commit suicide, but they didn't really give much into that. And he frequently threatened to kill his sisters. Like, literally, like a lot. He told one of the therapists that he could not stop thinking about death. Like, that's all he thought about was killing.
And his OCD just kind of like...
Exactly. So in 1998, he himself put out a restraining order on his sister Carla, saying that she wanted to kill him. So not the other way around. Él le puso a restraining order on Carla.
Her?
Exactly. So then after that, he later dropped that, but then Carla was like, no, wait a minute. No, you want to kill me. And so then she actually had a report of saying Paul told her, I'm going to kill you and I'm going to slash your fucking throat.
Oh.
And then kill himself. Yeah. So there was a little bit of a behind story into what Carla said, instead of just, basically I'm just going to kill you. Like, she said this. Kind of like a you said, she said kind of thing. Like, instead of being
But I'm sure, like, for Carla's, on Carla's side of it, like, his family, their family could, like,
corroborate
exactly
all the shit that he fucking did.
Yeah. And, his medical history and all that stuff. I'm sure they'd be like, hey, here's your restraining order.
So a lot of people would say that he was jealous of his sisters, and that contributed to him trying to kill.
So his sisters, he was what, like in his early 20s, 22 por ahí?
Yes, early 20s. Mid-20s casi. Yeah.
So his sisters were 2 years younger than him, imagine?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Well, yeah, exactly. Patrick Knight, which was Lisa's husband.
The other twin.
He really didn't say much about Paul, but he also did not say nothing nice about Paul when he did speak about him.
After everything happened?
No, prior. This is just kind of
okay, like reports, yeah.
Yeah, reports. He said he was a lawyer for the Miami-Dade, I guess, like county. And so Miami-Dade, like flow writer. Anyway, so then
Miami-Dade, like CSI Miami.
CSI Miami. Anyway, so then he was known to call Paul, and I quote, this is horrible, but this is what a fat, lazy failure who never had a job or a girlfriend, and he sat all day in front of his computer. He said that Paul was a non-functional member of society. Tell us how you really feel, motherfucker.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Well, no, pero I mean, that's not something that you say.
That
I
part,
would never call my brother-in-law something like that.
No, not that first part, pero like a what did he say?
Functioning
member of society. I mean, that part is, that's true. But the other one, I mean, come on.
Well, yeah, but cállate los hocico, no digas es mamadas. Like, keep it to yourself. You already know he's been trying to kill your wife and your wife's sister and shit. Like, cállate. Like, don't say those things. Whatever. I just say, like...
Wait, but who did he say this to?
No, it's just like I guess a quote.
He had it, yeah.
Yeah, I guess he had it. So it seemed like he had obviously a lot of mental problems once again. And I think that we'll go back to the same thing as how we believe, or I believe by reading all of this, that one thing after another, it seemed like the health system fell him again, right? He was talking to someone about it and someone was aware of his feelings. He kept telling the people that he wanted to kill somebody, that he was thinking about killing.
Really?
And nobody ever did anything about it. Not only that, no one tried to help him. Like, no one tried to be like, okay, this guy, hey, red flag, motherfuckers,
maybe we
careful.
Should like institutionalize him or something like that.
Apparently, well, so let me talk about that. After there was 12 years of his parents, going back and forth with his family and trying to survive with Paul because, I mean, he was violent and aggressive and he was just getting worse and worse by the older he got.
And as his parents, like, that's still your son regardless,
That's correct. So you still want to help them and stuff like that. He was involuntarily committed various times to a psych ward, and that didn't help. Like, they didn't help him there. Like, he would get committed, they would let him go.
I think I read something I think at Ahí Llegué, where he would but I think that place they would just hold you for 72 hours. And then after that.
And that's how it is everywhere in the United States.
And then if they deem you okay, they fucking release you.
But a lot of the times, we're talking about a lot of the killers, and we don't want to go into this because obviously that's
like a way bigger other
story. But a lot of the times we need to remember the people that are having the problems are very intelligent people.
Yeah.
These people are not dumb.
No.
So they know exactly how to play the part, or how to act like you want to be acted,
or
so that they'll let you go.
Yeah.
And then we go back to the same thing. They'll let you go, y ahí vas otra vez in the same circle, a dirty circle of again and again. By 2006, the family couldn't deal with him anymore, so they bought him a condo. And they were like, okay, we're going to get you a housekeeper. And that housekeeper is going to give you your meds.
Oh.
Yeah. So supposedly she was supposed to make sure, or that person was supposed to make sure he was taking his meds. But obviously,
that's not the housekeeper's job, but okay.
Not only that, but why would you think it's okay for just random person? Okay, you're going to clean that, make sure that's washed, and then make sure he takes his psych meds. Like, what the fuck? Like, well, I mean, that's just my opinion. I don't know that's...
That's so weird with the type of, like you said, that they were very well off. To me, I'm like, why don't you fucking hire him like a nurse of some sort, right? Or something like that.
Exactly. Or like admit him into a nice place where he can stay there and be like, okay, you're going to stay here, but they're going to help you with this. I'm pretty sure.
Like you said, they have the means for that.
They have the means. I mean, uno que está pobre, pues no. Pero,
right? Pero ellos, his dad was a doctor.
I mean, his dad knew about mental health. Yeah. But a lot of the times we need to be also, a lot of the times, como dicen, you can only see as far as you want to, y pues también quieren tapar el sol con un dedo y no se puede. Like, if that's the case, then, he probably had meaningful relationships, and then his son's acting a fucking fool. In his mind. Not that he was, I'm sorry, guys. But
this is just her thoughts.
My thoughts, yeah.
Pero también, like you said, his dad was a prestigious doctor. Yeah. And the image matters. So
image matters,
so they just, I'm not going to put my son in a mental health facility. Not that that's the case. We're just thinking, we don't know.
We don't know.
That's just kind of like...
Exactly. So then, with all of this being said, we're going to say that maybe he was not very welcome in the family functions, right? So the marriage family was told if they brought him over to a previous dinner, not this one, but any other dinner, that they were going to kick them out as well, too. So, I mean, they were warned that that the family did not want Paul
around
to be there, because all these people, I mean, it's like your family. So, what's going on in your family. Your tias talking, your primas are talking to each other. And
I mean... So, like, the parents were invited, Carol and Michael, and I'm sure the girls were invited, the twins, and everybody knows what's going on with them. So, I mean, it's valid that, they're like, bro, he's fucking trying to kill us and threatens us and shit. Why would we invite him over?
Yeah.
Where they're going to be, which he wants to kill and shit.
Yeah. So then, even though all of these red flags came up, and I mean, not only red flags, fucking red sheets and shit, like, pinche, hey, mira esto, güey, like, what the fuck? The day of Thanksgiving Day, we go back to that. His father did answer the phone and even gave, like I said before, directions to his son to the Sitton's house. Once again, he didn't even ask. He was just like, come on over, son.
After they told him that they didn't want him over.
And then, so that's where we're at now. So we're going to go back to the day of the murders. Like I said, after Makayla went to bed, he stepped out quietly, and that reports say that he was gone for about 20 minutes, and he went to his car, and as we know, he brought back the guns. He started the shooting, and the first person that he shot was with his 79-year-old aunt, Raymonde. I don't know if it was Raymonde. Raymonde, whatever. I can't say that. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to butcher her name. And she was the first one to be shot in the shoulder. And while her husband went to run to help her and stop the bleeding, then Paul got closer to her and shot her in the chest.
You shot her again?
Okay. So the husband went to
not the grandma, I'm sorry, the aunt.
Yeah, her husband went to go stop the bleeding, como poner pressure or whatever, or like you automatically think my wife, you know,
and
you just react. Él corrió, and when he saw that he was there, he was making sure she was dead, so shot her in the chest, and they killed her instantly. So after the shot, his gun got jammed. And while he was reloading, he looked at his dad while he was reloading and trying to unjam it. And he said, I've been waiting for this moment for the last 20 years.
¿Pero qué le hizo la tía?
Well, because you said that, he did move on to his sisters. So some reports say that he killed his sisters first. Some reports say that he killed the aunt first. I'm not sure which one came first. I need to verify that, but this is the way that it had it in one report, that they say that he killed the aunt first. Some others say that he had already killed his sisters, but we're going to say that he killed them all, because at that moment, I guess nobody could get it
right. I don't feel like some people, just freeze or whatever.
So then he fatally wounded both of them. He shot his brother-in-law in his stomach, and while he was checking on he had shot them already, fatally shot at them. So, but then he did get to shoot the brother-in-law. So when his brother-in-law was trying to crawl over to his sister, to his wife, mind you, his brother-in-law was one of the actual people that stayed alive that was inside the house.
Oh, that got shot.
But he was in a medically induced coma for 3 months.
3 months?
3 months. Mind you, the baby died immediately, obviously, because he shot her. He killed her because he shot the baby while he was in his sister's stomach. By the time everybody's running to the back of the house because they're like, oh shit, he's coming. So he's shooting people in the fucking kitchen. So then they're all running. The Suttons take cover in the kitchen. And in one of the interviews, Jim said that he thought that Paul was behind them. He's like, okay, so we're running, right? And we're thinking Paul is following us to kill us.
Right.
So that's what his thought is.
Well, I mean, it's fucking chaos, I'm sure.
Yeah, so everybody's screaming whatever.
Because there's still 16 other people in this house, right? Including
Makayla.
Right.
Which, remind you, she's in her bed.
Yeah, she went to bed.
So then he thought he's turning back to look for Paul, because supposedly Paul's following them out. But then he realized Makayla is still in her room. Yeah. Right? So he goes out to the side of the house to try to break the window to get Makayla out, because Makayla is in her room. So by this time, But
I thought her room was upstairs.
Based on this, he was trying to break in. Yeah, well, he was trying to break in back into the house.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I read. Mm-hmm. So then he's trying to break into the house, and he hears the gunshots. And then I don't know if Paul actually heard the banging of the window or whatever. So then the last time he shot her one last time. So he hears pop, pop, two pops, and then he leaves, I guess, or whatever. And there's a moment where Jim is like trying to break into the window because he's in Makayla's room. Right. And when he's trying to get the window open, he hears it's como que se regresó, and he hears the last pop. So this motherfucker walked into Makayla's room and he shot the little girl 3 times. One time in the back, one time in her hip, and then she was laying down with her little Tinkerbell PJ, estaba dormidita la bebé. And then before he left, which is when I think that he heard that Jim was trying to get in, he went back and shot her in the head. She was only 6 and only a few days before her 7th birthday. For no fucking reason. Because let me tell y'all something, guys, and this is what fucking infuriates me the fact that before this, él no conocía a Makayla. He had never met Makayla before because the Sittons had not met Paul. I mean, the Sittons had not seen Paul for 13 years. They had not spoken to him.
And Makayla was 6, 7.
Makayla was 6. Like, ¿qué te hizo la niña? Like,
but
why?
That's the thing. I'm like, why her? Like, you literally had to leave all these people down where they were, and you went up to her room for what?
So then he walked out of the house and he fled in his dark blue Camry. So se va al compa, you know. The red, which I thought that was kind of weird, and then if you think about it, by this time there's 16 people in this whole home, right? So then I was like, why did they call the Red Cross? Pero what if they were staying there?
What do you mean?
Like they call the Red Cross over and the Red Cross make camps outside.
Like all those people were staying, came from out of town.
And I didn't think about that.
I didn't think about that too.
I had to reread it because I was like, wait, what?
Besides Paul's family, right?
Besides Paul's family, they were probably, all of his family were in the city or in
close by.
Yeah. Y se estaban quedando allí. And now there's fucking dead bodies in the house, so they can't stay there.
Yeah.
So now
it's a crime scene.
Yeah, it's a crime scene. So I didn't think about that. But anyway, I guess they gave him somewhere to stay. So the media goes wild. They start coming down. People are calling, by this time, ya no había shots. This guy drives off. They're looking for him or whatever.
Do you remember hearing about this at that time?
No, I don't remember.
Okay, me either.
I don't think I really, I guess back then in 2006. 9, excuse me. Why did I say 6? I don't know. Anyway, but in 2009, what was I doing in 2009? I was already here. I don't know. I don't remember. But anyway, so media coverage did start. There was a big channel a big reason that a news station. It was WPTV Channel 5. They were especially present. And the reason is because Jim Sitton was a cameraman.
Oh.
Yeah, or a videographer for that actual media. So there is, if y'all want to go out there and you want to look up WPTV Channel 5, you will see all of the interviews.
And then just
moments
type in
of right after cuando hombre pasó todo
like as soon as llegó todo.
And this is actually where he had met his wife, Muriel, back in 1995. So back they were both. So we're going to speak a little bit about Jim and Muriel. She was a producer in 1995 where her and Jim actually won a few Emmys for their work together. So he was a videographer and then and she was a producer. So in November 2000, the couple got married in a very fancy wedding. And actually the Wednesday before their baby was killed, it was their ninth wedding anniversary. So in 2002, they had little Makayla. Her name is Makayla Joy. And she was intelligent and loved music, singing, and dancing. She was writing a novel. This is the cutest thing ever. She was writing a novel about a squirrel that her and her dad had seen. So she was just writing a book about the squirrel. That's the cutest thing ever. Muriel was homeschooling Makayla, and everyone described her as a bright and full of life. Like I said, a lot of the interviews that were coming up for
after it happened,
they talked to him and he is just like, please help us find, because we'll go into that. But, as we hear, este motherfucker se fue in su blue Camry, right? So in one of the interviews of following the murder, Jim says, and it got me so sad just to hear this because I'm a parent and you have very close nieces and nephews, but he said, and I quote, "God packed a lot of sweetness into that girl. I don't know how we'll be able to survive without her." I thought that was the sweetest thing.
Was she their only kid?
Yes, she was their only child at that time. So Jim Sitton said that Paul, while planning the murders, he doesn't think that he wanted to hurt Makayla. He decided that at that moment. And the reason was because he thinks that it's because he got jealous, because everybody was like, oh, she's so cute. Oh, look at her dancing. Oh, this, oh, that. Because it was just odd for him. Once again, we go back to the same thing. Because
so let's say he was jealous of his sisters, and that was that.
Exactly.
And now he came into the Sitton's home and saw everybody's attention on this sweet little 6-year-old girl who
dancing,
singing,
all of this
stuff.
He's
going to be in the Nutcracker the next day.
Yeah, and so then that's what he thinks, that's why that happened. So obviously he did have mental problems. He did stop his medication, and he had everything handed to him. But so this right here is a little bit off of topic because we don't really do this, but there was some small details that was about the actual marriage family that kind of gave you a little idea that there was back mental problems for not only him, but in his family.
Like it ran in the family.
Like it ran in the family. So something interesting was that this was not the first actual in-family murder that had happened within Paul's family. So back in 1973...
so before Paul was born.
Before Paul was born, an aunt of Paul's killed her husband and her 2 children and killed herself. They were on her father's side. So her name was Solva Adams, and she had given up her career as an opera singer to take care of her family. So she was an opera singer. She's like, no, I don't want to be an opera singer. I'm going to be a family wife. And she ended up getting married. Yeah. So after 19 years of marriage, her husband, James, leaves her for a flight attendant. And obviously this brought up a little bit of maybe anger or upset or whatever you want to call it. She had given up her passion and
for him and for the family. And
obviously, I mean, we don't know that the flight attendant was younger than her, but I mean, it sounds like maybe she was younger than her. I don't know, but it could happen. So there was a little bit of resentment, and of course, they got divorced. And Miss Salwa asked her husband that she wanted to take him over to the house, and they were gonna talk. Right?
Take who to the house?
Him. They were going to meet up at their house where they met, or where their family home, and they were going to talk. So that's where she left her 14-year-old daughter and a 10-year-old son along with the dog, and they were waiting for her in the car. And while in the master bedroom, Mrs. Salwa shoots her husband 4 times in the chest, then calls her son into the house and shoots him in another room until the gun was empty. And then shoots her son, and then goes over to another room, brings her daughter, and shoots her as well to death.
So where were the kids when they were talking?
In the car with the dog.
So she took them outside and then talked to the dad?
Yep. Talked to the dad, killed the dad, shot him 4 times in the room. Then she was like, oh, wait, let me get your brother out here.
And then one by one into the house.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
Even
God.
killed the dog. Not only that, but she actually didn't shoot herself. She went and took a shitload of pastillas, a lot of pills.
She took the AC.
And then not only that, but the worst part is that she did reload the gun to kill her daughter. Se le acabaron las...
She unloaded the whole thing on her fucking son.
Yeah. Y luego, she went to the room, shot the daughter, and she was like, nah, I'm not going to shoot myself. That looks like it's painful. So me voy a tomar unas pastillitas.
And she died?
It took her about a month to die. So she slowly died, like a very slow death.
And you should have shot yourself then, huh?
Yeah, she did die eventually.
But she did OD, or she go into not that it fucking matters because the bitch died anyway. But did she go into a coma or some shit?
She was in a coma, for about a month, and then she ended up dying. Her. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So there was a murder within a murder. Hey, I bet you weren't expecting that, huh?
No.
Yeah. So I guess we could say that Paul's family history kind of already had a little bit of that
a predisposition of that.
Yeah, a murdering or whatever.
And even before then, was she did it because she had a mental illness, or she did it just because to get back at her husband?
They don't know, but I know that for a fact, if my husband had left me at 19 years for a stewardess and I had given her all of my life, then maybe that would piss me off. I mean, not me personally, but other people, I don't know. I mean, she was well off. I mean, she had a nice house and everything. Pero, I mean, people
I'm
don't
sure
think
she had
that
other
way.
issues.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Pero, I mean, there weren't anywhere stated anywhere that
it's
I
never
could
that
find.
crucial, guys. You never have to kill anybody.
You know what? I don't think that we should just let's not kill each other. How about that? How about we'll start with that?
And keep your hands to yourself.
Keep your hands to yourself, yeah. So there you go. So now we go back to Paul.
Yeah.
And Mr. Paul, at this point, like I said, he did flee in his blue motherfucking Camry. Anda en chinga. And they have no idea where he's gone. So Jim is asking the public for help. He's just trying his best to be able to find him.
Because he's the one that has the connections with the news.
With the news, yeah, because he's out there. He's like, well, I have to do this for my little girl. I mean, not only that.
We need to find him.
We need to find him so that he can, and I just don't understand the actual strength of that man to be able to stand there and be like, hey, we need help. We need the public's help to find.
Like you said, it's for his daughter. You don't have time. like you owe her more than just breaking down at that moment.
I don't know, guys, but you need to look at these, because when I would see some of the actual like interviews, and he's standing in front of the fucking house, and like moments after it happened, and
I'm pretty probably in shock, dude.
I mean, probably he's just going with in batteries, like in battery mode or whatever.
And that's
¿Cómo se le llama when they're in? They're just going, like they don't even think, I mean. I don't know.
And like you said, that like the house is a
crime scene. There's
crime scene.
So guess what?
Chicken butt.
Besides the chicken butt, I'm going to stop right here. I know. I'm sorry. I'm going to make this a 2-parter. So our first 2-parter before we go, our first Thanksgiving 2-parter. Yes. So I decided to make it a 2-parter because there's so much information. Like I literally found so much that
it's a big case.
It's a big case, and I really don't want to miss anything for the memory of Makayla. And not only that, for if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it right. And we might as well do it right. So I hope that you guys enjoy your Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Yes.
So what are you thankful for? I'll go first. I'm thankful for Cafecito and Crime.
Yes.
I'm actually thankful for my kids. I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for all of my sisters and my one brother.
And your family?
One. And all of my sisters, my brother. I'm very thankful for the opportunity that I have to get up every day and do something like this that we never thought that we were going to be able to get to.
Yeah. Or also the small things. I feel like a lot of people, sometimes I think you're like, I'm thankful for, being able to fucking walk.
Yeah.
Or being able to work out. Or move because there's people that can't.
Exactly.
So
and I'm thankful for medication.
Yeah.
To get me through the day sometimes, or not, whatever it is. But I'm thankful for everybody out there that listens to us. Thank you so much. I'm thankful for football. I really am thankful for football because I love football. And I think that's a lot of things. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Well, you have a lot to be thankful
I have
for.
a lot. I'm very blessed. I think you're blessed as well.
Yeah,
We're blessed that we're here, and we're here together at the same time and enjoying what we do. High five. So thank you, everybody, for listening. Again, we would not be able to be here without the 5 people that listen, because we would have given up a long time ago.
We felt like it too.
Because we thought we weren't gonna, whatever it is that we
still do.
We still do. We'll still be out here for 5 people. I'll be out here for 3. Shit, I don't care.
I'll be out here for 0.
Muchas gracias. Enjoy your tamales and your pozole.
And your turkey and your
ham. Let us know how everything was. Did you get a big belly? Did you not? I know I am. Wear stretchy pants. Don't forget.
Don't wear jeans. Gross.
Gross jeans. Aprietan la panza. Well, anyway, thank you so much for everything, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.